Hey guys, since the school year is really near, I decided to spice things up with a school theme. So this week we will learn about drawing a manga school skirt. Today I will show you, here I have a little sketch even for you. Today we'll learn about three types of skirts we usually see in manga. There's a traditional long skirt with a high waist. There's less traditional and more like manga skirt which has a lower starting point and a shorter version than the traditional school skirt, and how to draw a school skirt in movement, or maybe under the influence of wind, or on a person that's running or jogging, or in an action scene or whatever. So for today's tutorial you don't need any special markers, pens or anything. You just need pencil, paper and eraser. Always remember that you don't need any special skills. You just need to remember the first main rule: don't press the pen too much. You only use the pen lightly, and when you're sure the body is drawn on correctly, then you proceed with a little bit more of a pressure. So today I prepared three same girl types for you, for three different skirt sizes and shapes. What I want to tell everybody is that one particular main rule for drawing clothes is to have a correct body under the clothes. So this is like dressing up a doll. You need a body before you draw any type of clothes. So let's begin. Okay, before I begin, the important rule about drawing with pencils is to always use a piece of paper right under your palm, so you prevent smudging. This goes for left-handed people as much as for the right-handed people. And since I'm a left-handed person, you should always try to maybe draw things from the right part of the paper first and then proceed to the left, so you prevent smudging. As for the first type of skirt, we will put a line right here where the thinnest part of the waist is. Then after that we will put a parallel line a bit lower. This is the main part of the skirt, and it looks just like a rectangle. So when we do this, the next part is the length of the skirt. Usually anime skirts are a bit too short. Usually the schoolgirls in Japan wear skirts as long as down to the knees or even ankles. We will use something similar and make a line right above the knees, so that we can have the knees showing a bit but still have a long skirt. When we have this little line, barely seeable, set up, we just need to follow the waist and the thigh shape and finish the shape of the skirt. Now that we did this, there's just a simple set of rules to follow. You need few straight lines set apart. About 5 lines will do, and they're starting at the similar positions, but they are wider since the entire skirt is getting a bit wider. So what we need to do after we draw the skirt on is to erase as much of the legs as we can, so the skirt becomes more visible. This is why all the professionals draw body first and then the clothes later. You don't need to think about this at the moment. You just need to try to make it look as natural as possible. So to finish off this traditional Japanese schoolgirl skirt, you need to make the end of the skirt have that complete pleated look. You will do this really easy by finding out where the ends of these straight lines are, and then we just go zigzagging. We make a straight line, make a zigzag, then pull it back up to the line we drew over the knees, then make another zigzag and do the same, another one and another one, and that's it. There's nothing simpler. If you want to add a bit more details, you can always make the start of these lines double, or you can make them visible throughout the entire length of the line. But basically, that's it. This is the long traditional skirt. Next up, we have the short, modern, more manga-like skirt. This skirt is different because the beginning of the skirt doesn't go as high as with the previous one. We will place the beginning of the skirt in the middle of the hips, like this. Then we will make another line parallel to this one, a bit lower. This rectangle is wider than the rectangle we did on the first skirt. As for the length, we will use that popular super short version people like to see in anime, and we will cut the length from the beginning of the legs to the knees by half. Just make a line. You can even, to make it more realistic, you can make a half circle line instead of a straight line. Then we make this into a bit of a bell shape, and we have the shape of the skirt. Now all that's left to do is make parallel straight up lines. The space between these lines is basically almost equal. Try to make it equal. If it's a problem for you, you can even use a ruler, but I suggest just practicing. So there is a bit of a lesser space between these lines than with the traditional skirt. It's just the modern design and it's a bit different, but it looks really different when you use it on a character. So what's left to do? It's the same thing we did with the previous one. We will make a straight sharp corner, then make a zigzag, make another one, and another one, and just see where the lines end, and where each line ends, that's where we make a zigzag. And then you are free to finally press the lines a bit more and make your skirt look like this. So this is the modern, shorter version of a manga schoolgirl skirt. Let's proceed to the next one. And now for the third type of modern skirt. This is the same skirt we drew here, but in movement, for characters that are jumping, fighting, running, or whatever. So when you want to make a skirt move, go up, go to the side, the things you need to remember is which part of the skirts move and which don't. For example, the main belt here, it doesn't move. It's just stuck there. It's glued on, it doesn't move. So this part always stays the same. As for the rest of the skirt, to make it look more like moving or flowing, you need, instead of a half circle, you need to draw a bit of a more curvy shape. For example, When you draw this curvy shape, you close up the skirt, and then you use all these parallel lines in a specific way. For this part of the skirt in the middle, which is the most deviated one, you will make a straight line back to the belt. Then, from there, you will make the same space between each other line like here, but you will move them around. They will no longer be parallel like this. So let's try this. These two will go a bit apart, then these two will start going one next to each other. Same goes with this ones. This line will go a bit closer to the left one, and the right one will try to be as parallel to the previous one, but a little bit wider. And the last thing we need to do is to make these zigzags, but we need to place them carefully. For parts of the skirt which are on the most deviated part of the line, we need to go carefully and make a bit of a zigzag which is longer. Then we need to proceed on the next one, do the zigzag again, and you will notice that this zigzag goes somewhere differently than before. What you need to do is make a zigzag up to a line, then go backward, and then make another straight edge. Then you need to make a miniature upper line. We do this with every part of the skirt. We make a zigzag up to the line, zigzag back, make an upward line. Go to the next one, make a zigzag, upward line, and continue. Then we go to the next one, we make a zigzag up to the line, back, upward. Zigzag. Somewhere zigzags are wider, somewhere they're almost invisible. It depends on which part of the line we drew they're on. If the line is more straight, then the zigzags are minimal, like before. But on the part of the line where we have this big curvy shapes, the zigzags are bigger. To make this even more realistic, we can break the outer lines on the skirts and add another little zigzag. You can do the same here, make a tiny break and add another zigzag. On these places we broke, there should be another line in the middle of the dress, like this, or this, to show that the fabric has gotten loose, broken, deformed, whatever you want to call it. And now we have a specific type of moving dress. The irresistible pieces of the school skirts are not only the shapes and the size of the skirt, but also the accessories. What usually makes the school skirt and school uniform so attractive are the accompanying socks, which go over the knees, like this. So you have a little spot between the edge of the sock and the edge of the skirt. That is really cute and makes your character look thinner and more in a manga style. And also, one more thing, you can leave your skirts in one color, but I can show you a little trick on how to make your skirts flat. Anyway, the trick to using this texture is quite simple. You need two types of lines. You need two parallel lines which go upward, and then you cross them with two parallel lines which are flowing in this direction. So when you cross these two types of lines again, you get a flat texture, and we just need to put it on our skirts. So let's do this. We just need to, you can even go diagonally. You don't need to make them go like a chessboard. So if we do two parallel diagonal lines and repeat this several times across the entire skirt, then do it again. Remember, make bigger spaces between two lines, between two sets of lines. So we have two closer lines, then a big space, then two lines apart. So we have two close, then a space, then two more, then two more. As you can see, I'm not trying to make anything particularly flashy or detailed or even precise. I'm just making lines and it still looks good. So it's really simple, everybody can draw it, and I think that in 15 minutes all of you can learn how to draw these types of skirts. Show me what you made, and please don't hesitate to ask if you want any more clothes tutorials or explanations. Next time we will do some additional work on these uniforms by adding some sailor shirts and accessories. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.